Ixo, there's no rivalry. What are you talking about? We've got to create a spicy storyline here, so I'm going to say that there is. Now, gentlemen, our first match on the cards, as you can see from the graphic on your screen, a best of 5, a hotly anticipated Vitality taking on FUFAXDOP. Now we can begin the discussion with one word, Corelli, Zen.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to not talk about Zen in a lot of these matchups for Vitality. And like I said before, I just don't know. I can't see anyone wanting to go up against him in the 1v1 here. It doesn't matter who you are. But for Vitality, they have so many weapons. It's very similar to version 1. Like, I feel like I have the same talking point for them is because they just have such a strong and even stronger 1v1 and 2v2 appearance, in my opinion, that it feels like Vitality are just going to be monsters in this type of crew battle format.
Sometimes we hear of teams being built around a certain individual or an individual being brought into a roster that just excels the roster and boosts them. But Dazarin, when you have someone who plays mechanically like Zen, is this, you could just throw him anywhere and that team's just elevated exponentially.
That's the thing. There was no one that was mechanically as elevated as Zen. Why do you think Vitality got him so early? They got him when he was a little baby. They said, come here, we're going to get you, we're going to mold you, we're going to train you until you're ready. You said, when do you play? This day? Okay, you sit right here, get comfortable, get to know the team and everything, because I'm telling you, we're going to give you a slot, we're going to give you a chair when it's your time, and we're going to let you cook. And my goodness, has he been chefing up a 5-star dish every single time he's been on the field? That man's incredible. You talk about building around a player. Oh, Vitality, I mean, they built a city around Zen for sure.
Well, talking of Vitality, we had the opportunity to sit down with Alpha earlier this week, and let's hear what he has to think about the EU bracket.
Our team is Team Vitality, and I'm Alpha 54, the team captain for the team. So our team is now Zen, Radozin, and myself. We know that we are clear favorites to go far in the tournament, since we have Zen, who is really good in ones, and then we got myself, Radozin, and Zen, who can all play really good twos, and then we are a good threes team. So I think we have high expectations to win the tournament, but we will see what happens, because there are a lot of good teams as well. I think the structure and the format of the tournament is really good, because it changes from typical RLCS when it's only 3v3 and just the format changes. Now it's best of 7 with every game modes of the game, so I think it's pretty cool, and it's a great tournament, so I'm looking forward to it. For San Diego, we just played a lot, and Regional 1 we made it to the finals, and since then we knew that we couldn't choke the qualification, so I think this is a really not a turning point, but I think it helped us really well playing in the final to make it to San Diego, and now I think we are really confident now. I would say to make a deep run in gamer in the qualifier and in Gamers 8, I think you just need to pick the right game modes. If the once player is feeling well, then just send him in once and he will probably win. If the 2v2 players feel well, just send them and they will win. It's probably just feeling on the day. If you feel more you're not playing that well mechanically or individually, just focus on 3v3. I mean, except us, I would say that maybe Rule 1, they have Hawass, who's a really good ones player, and they got him and Killers, who are really good twos player, and they got a good threes chemistry as well. So I think this is the best team from Saudi Arabia. I mean, Falcons is really good as well, but I don't really know if they try in ones that much anymore, and they are good in twos as well. So raising money for a good cause, I think, is, of course, every time it will be good, because it gives money to people who are in need. So I don't think anyone can disagree with that. I don't know, I think it's just really good to put a huge amount of money and give them to people who are in need. So for our fans, I hope that you will support us during the Gamers 8. And we appreciate your support already for every regionals, major, and even worlds. I hope that you will be there. And yeah, as I said, we appreciate you guys.
Alpha, confident, calm, unfazed. I love how he said, yeah, we're good at ones, we're really good at twos, and yeah, we're good at threes. Wait, does that mean we're going to win? Corelli, I feel like they should be confident. They've earned that right, yeah?
Oh, definitely. Not only through RLCS in this last split, but also I think now with the confidence of having Zen, especially in the format like this where you have 2 aces with Zen in the 1v1 matchup.
I love that. We say in Rocket League that team synergy is what wins games, and individual skill counts, mechanics count, but that doesn't win matches. Well, Sonny, guess what? We're in crew battle format. Those individual skills are exactly what counts. So, Dazarin, I'm going to come to you because I know that this is going to be an absolute stinker of a question, but I want a 1v1's score prediction from you, just while we keep this Zen hype going.
For the Vitality match, oh man, yeah, it's gonna be 20-0. It's gonna be 20-0. We're gonna have a long day today because the matches are gonna go on. He's not gonna stop scoring, and then we're gonna see how many goals Zig can really score in a 5-minute span. And I'll be really surprised if it's honestly anything like less than that. If it's a low scoring affair, I'll be surprised for sure. I'm expecting a lot of goals from Zig.
I mean, we're talking a lot about Vitality, right, Corelli? FUFAXDOP, what do they excel in? What can we expect from them? Which is going to be their strongest, their strongest format before we dive into our first match?
Yeah, I mean, I think 3s is probably their best shot. 2s, I think also you would be surprised at how good they're going to be at 2s. They have a player, Farisi, he was here before on Juicers. They actually qualified for Gamers 8 last time and finished top 8. They had 2 kind of pocket picks with Moxie in the qualifier for their 1s matchups and then Raziers in Gamers 8. So the difference is now they don't have that type of pick. We'll see what happens in their 2s and 1s in this crew battle format.
Okay, well, we've had our say over here. For the viewers at home, you know everything that you need to know. So it's time to head over to our casters and start off Dazarin's favorite region. That's Europe with Cole and Stumpy.
The people have been waiting for Zen to compete in a tournament of this size and scale. And finally, the new Vitality, Stumpy, are here to grace the world with their presence. And what better format for them?
This is going to be theoretically a Vitality masterclass. We have got a very good chance of seeing Zen really show off to a lot more people, more than he has done so far through his Johnny Boy show matches, his Fear show matches as well. Anything that he's done historically, this is the chance we get to see him in an actual competition. And this isn't just built for Zen. This competition is essentially built for Vitality. We were saying just as much of version 1 with Beast Mode and Daniel over on that side. They managed to win the North American portion. Vitality, I see it going much the same way.
But they are against an opponent. It's not just the Vitality show. They're against FUFAXDOP, who did okay in the Winter EU Regional 3 in the RLCS. They ended up going out to Oxygen, but do you know what? Zen scored.
Straight away, Zen scores as well. It's going to be actually a pretty terrible touch from Lassa over towards the center, and Zen just lurking straight away, knowing where he needs to be. And the hype around Zen, Cole, for anybody that doesn't know, of course, we've been speaking about him on the pre-show. Crelly and Daz did a fantastic job, as did Banks, but the way that he has exploded onto the scene when he has now been able to play is phenomenal. Alpha is now able to score that goal. I became genuinely speechless as I saw him take off.
I never thought I'd be disappointed to see Zen put the ball away, but Alpha, I was desperate to see him hit the back of the net with the ceiling reset as well off the backboard. So close. And I think there's going to be a little bit of competitiveness between the Vitality players. They're going to want to prove that it isn't just the Zen show. Alpha's already got his mechanics on the go here. It's sort of, there's a little competition between those guys.
An open net miss from Lassa tries to potentially just say, okay, maybe that's a pass towards Casa, but instead, despite the fact that the net is completely open, Vitality maintain this lead, and the demos are starting to come out. These incredibly Spanish players in Casa and Lassa, they are going to be trying to remove as many Vitality players from the pitch as possible. If you can make it into a 2v3 for as much of this series, then you're going to be the benefactors of them being destroyed.
Zen's coming forward. There's Vitality Donkey Kong, according to our screens. It is Radosin, I promise you. He'll be there. Although he's not in the Vitality skinned car, unfortunately. He's got a little colourful number, though. I like it, the stripes. Has he still got the skill in this brand new Fennec? Let's see. He goes into Faris, and Casa is there. This is coming in. Zen with Radosin to his side. Misses it, actually, and then leaves it to Radosin.
Rodosin now progressing down the pitch, can be getting that second touch. Instead of Carso, going to be intercepting with Larsa sending it long. Possession given straight back towards FUFAXDOP after a touch from Alpha, but this is just being passed back and forth between every player on the pitch so far. Nothing to come from it. A minute 30 has gone, and with Zen continuing to challenge, it falls midfield. Deadly, but Faris clearing it along this time. With 5 boosts, he goes for 1 reset, but Rodosin, a great clear away.
Of course, it has to be said that FUFAXDOP are no mugs themselves. Faris is a semi-regular in the RLCS, usually manages to find a way to qualify. Between Karsa and... You're saying Lassa rather than Larsa, or you're saying Larsa, aren't you? I'll go with Larsa. Between Karsa and Larsa... Mate, now you've got it in my head, I'm gonna stick with you. Karsa and Larsa. Between Larsa and Karsa, they've qualified for 3 RLCS regionals between them, so... Good luck to them, legends, and making their way in the RLCS world. You know, it takes a while to really bubble up and get used to playing at this level, but Zen, he never takes a while. He always gets the first touch, and it's hit the post again. The style of Vitality.
A beautiful pass down from Zen towards Alpha, who's lurking central. A chance again for Zen to touch it down towards the middle, but Faris clearing it away long on that chance. With Rodos now on the backboard, I want to be seeing these passing plays from Vitality, because when they get that cohesion amongst themselves, the French fusion is unstoppable.
Rodosin gets a brilliant save there against Larsa. I thought that one was going to hit the back of the net, but somehow Rodosin got the read. I thought he was too slow for it originally. Not to be, and now Zen has no boost at all, still manages to generate a bit of space on the ball, such as the fear that he causes. Alpha goes to the ceiling again. Alpha has woken up and chosen violence today.
I feel like Alpha is on such a nice trend at the moment too, where we've seen Vitality struggle for a little while, Alpha having a few jokes made at his expense and seeing maybe he's not caring about the game nearly as much. That is a long time gone now, but the results still weren't coming in for a little bit. Seeing now Rodosin and Zen on his team, after being bolstered and galvanized by appearing alongside Sizen as well, Vitality look brand new, and it's absolute honor to watch them. Zen going for more filth from the ceiling.
There was talk, would he be able to do it in 3v3s, just to have that same amount of space, score the same style of goals we've been seeing him get in Johnny Boy and Fear show matches? It's looking like yes, Stumpy. Every time he gets the ball, I'm terrified of what we're about to see, let alone poor old FUFAXDOP.
Faris trying to get that one a little bit further than potentially possible, and instead it falls down to Rodosin to pass towards Alpha. Now Zen coming in, Alpha relieved of his duties, so we'll be heading back towards that mid boost. Faris with no boost on his side. Now Alpha challenging alongside Karsa, up early, and a nice touch over the top too. Brilliant placement from him, just a little touch on with the nose. With Alpha singing towards the ceiling, we enter the final minute. FUFAXDOP need to be getting a goal as soon as possible. That's a good chance, but Larsa just shooting wide of the net.
Had to put that one away, you feel. Zen's then able to just take out Faris, or at least scare the heck out of him. And Rodosin can come forward with Alpha 54 behind him. It's got a full 2 Alpha. He's been trying to get these stylish plays all game long. Goes for another one. Maybe one too many. Wasn't really needed there with 35 seconds left, but it does burn a few more seconds off that all-important clock as Zen puts it into the center, but Larsa can come forwards.
Flip reset from Larsa, and then another touchdown, but Rodosin can save that one away. The final 20. Agonizingly counting down now. Freeze challenging versus Alpha 54. Down that right wing, we see him progress, and no goal score from FUFAXDOP. The final 10 seconds. Something soon, otherwise this game is near enough done.
I think it actually might be pretty much done now as that ball heads just into the corner. Not much else to say, really. This one's going to be fading away, and it's going to be Team Vitality taking a clean and stylish game 1 against FUFAXDOP.
Cole 93. Hi. It's lovely to meet you. I have a question. You're on FUFAXDOP. Congratulations. You've made it, and you've lost this first game to Vitality. Do you pipe up and say, lads, let's just play the 1v1 versus Zen? No. Let's just do it. Come on. Let's give it a go. Or do you say, no, let's do the theoretical better idea of playing in the 2v2?
Tell you what I do, Stumpy Goblin. I contact the admins, and I say, does it really need to be crew battle? Does that, add anything? Let's just...
We'll happily lose at 3v3 for a couple of games.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll give that one a good go. No, unfortunately, in the 3v3, FUFAXDOP seemed, I don't want to say outclassed, that's too harsh, but, a slight step below Vitality. Exactly, a step below Vitality, which is completely fair. I have a horrible feeling that in 2v2 and 1v1, where there's not
I want them to do ones. I want them to do ones so desperately.
Who's their one's main? Out of
Don't care.
Farouz, Casa, and
Don't
Larsa. Okay.
I'm not bothered personally.
All right, well, I will be very confident that it's about to be a 2v2 coming right up.
Come on, just do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, so Farouz actually qualified for last season's Gamers 8. He made it, playing with Juicers. And then he was with Heat, with Razias. Oh my goodness, I'm actually... The UI got us!
It was happening!
The UI! We got UI'd, Stumpy!
Oh, I got UI'd so hard. I saw Zen come in. I saw Casa come in. My heart went a-flutter. And then Larsa and Alpha joined as well. But we've got a 2v2 in our second match on Forbidden Temple. And this is going to be an exciting time for every single fan of Rocket League because we've not seen too much Vitality 2v2, aside from when they did a couple of Johnny Boy show matches. And actually, in fairness, they're not unbeatable in twos. They've been beaten previously by G1, for example, in those 2v2 matches. So not necessarily their strongest game mode, but that's not really saying a lot considering how strong they are in 3s and 1s.
FUFAXDOP also have the rhyming name synergy, so we'll see if that helps them at all as Larsa puts that one towards Casa, trying to find each other. And you feel that FUFAXDOP have to play this one aggressively. They cannot allow players like Zen. Look at him pre-jumping already and getting it as well. How did he know exactly where Larsa was putting the ball? Now Alpha's coming forward, not quite nailing that double tap. Vitality still fully fluent at the start of this 2v2, but it remains 0-0. Larsa almost puts it into the center where Casa may well have been waiting.
Good catch there by Casa as well, but with 0 boost, he just has to fall away from that ball, relinquish all control. Alpha to tap it along again, and then bumps Larsa on the back line. Zen just to come in and bump. With a couple of bumps now, a chance again. Zen wanting to be not just that mechanical monster, but also trying to send players to the graveyard.
That's why he's such a highly regarded player. It's not just mechanics. We've had individuals appear like that before who could do anything in free play, but Zen seems to be, even at this young age, the complete package in Rocket League. He knows when to go for bumps, when to go for demos. Will he be able to do some defending here? It's just tipped over the top. Zen still manages to get the save despite being wrestled by Casa.
Could have been a goal there, really should have been a goal there. Zen missing the open net completely, but after his heroic save, we'll call it 1-1, one good, one bad. Just about 2 minutes have elapsed so far, and FUFAXDOP keeping this fantastically close at just 0-0. Zen trying to reset it over the top of Larsa, but the ball falling back towards Alpha 54. Larsa onto the backboard. Alpha is going to be taking control away once again, with Zen challenging now into that corner, and the pre-jump past Central. Alpha has got to be a precog to try and play with Zen.
So far, though, it's a very end-to-end game of 2v2. Neither team has really had complete and utter pressure, which you tend to see in this game mode as Larsa goes for a musty, almost connects. And now it's Team Vitality's turn. This has been the story of this 2v2, this Game 2 bout. That demo could open things up. Alpha's given such a huge gap for Zen, and he gets it through, and finally, it's 1-0 Vitality.
Zen being called onto that ball immediately as he does his wave dash to get towards the ball yet again. Casa got back in brilliant time, but not quite enough to save it away. Halfway through the game, and Vitality managing to score that first goal. Anybody wondering, by the way, why we're suddenly playing 2v2, this is a crew battles format. We got the 3v3 in the first game. Ooh, a cheeky fake kickoff, actually. Hang on a second. It leads to nothing. We've got the crew battles format, and so once the 3v3 has been done, the loser then picks the next game mode, whether 2s or 1s. A great fake from Zen makes it 3, and then whoever is going to be, whoever picked that first different game mode, it then falls down to the other one that then was not chosen. So the 2s or the 1s that has yet to be played.
Nice recovery from Zen in the corner to tee up Alpha there. The poor old FUFAXDOP defense didn't know how to deal with that one, and suddenly they find themselves a couple of goals behind, but they have been in this 2v2. It's actually more competitive than I was worried it would be. They've been performing well. Sends to the ceiling, closed down well by Larsa. That's brilliant play from him. Alpha's up, has to connect the double and doesn't. Casa has a chance to score, but it's too weak, and Alpha and Zen can combine to get it away.
Alpha, great movement too, to be continuing to push on Larsa's awkward touch in the middle. The bump on Zen not quite able to come out with 40 boost. Now caught at 33 when he respawns. Larsa picking up the 100 in the back corner. Flies it down back to the middle. Tries to go for the bump on Alpha at the back, or on Zen, and Alpha is able to recover it.
Here's Casa, bumps coming in front of him, has to get the 50-50 perfect, again it's not quite there. FUFAXDOP in the ascendancy though with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. Have to keep on pushing. Casa's got good boost, and he steals the corner boost too, so Vitality going to have to head home. Alpha's got plenty to play with, but Zen's a little bit starved. He's now completely starved, just picking up pads over there. Could be in trouble if this ball goes high, which it does. Still on 0. Is Larsa going to attack it? He gave Alpha, I think, a bit too much respect. And now FUFAXDOP have to head back and start all over again.
Alpha was super awkward on that touch as well, bear in mind. He had to go for the in and out save. Does so, but he still had to go for it. That's going to be a completely open net, but Zen just hovers in the sky like a fighter jet and can shut down any dreams that are had by the opposition. The 1, 2, 3. Zen with the bump at the end, and it's a triple for Vitality.
My hands are on my head in shock. First, he gets the save that you were talking about, and then he chucks a flip reset dunk bump into the mix to make it 3-0, maybe to kill this 2v2. Outstanding. Truly outstanding.
He's just, he's everything right now. And Zen is going to be a big old mainstay for Vitality for the foreseeable future, I imagine. One reset, gets that second one towards the center. Larsa is there to block, but a dunk yet again. Alpha getting one reset, but it flies too far away. And Larsa with a fully open net gives FUFAXDOP their first goal.
An overcommit from Team Vitality, maybe just getting a little bit overconfident. This game is not over yet. For anyone here who is new to the 2v2 or 1v1 game, a 3-0 lead is not as undefeatable as it seems, and certainly as it would be were this 2v3, but kickoff, Stumpy, becomes so important in situations like this one.
I mean, kickoffs as well. I feel like Vitality will probably be having that the advantage on it too. It does actually fall fantastically well towards Vitality, Zen, to shoot this one, but instead realises that there are a couple of defenders. He's coming up from a pretty static position. He won't be able to get too much power, doesn't want to just give the ball straight back. Larsa completely giving control away from that ball, and Alpha can pinch it low. 50ing versus Caster. The fake isn't going to be working on that chance. Now it's a 2v1. Can Zen get it back in time?
You can just see the FUFAXDOP have upped their pace a little bit, going in for some risky 50-50s and challenges. If they don't come off, it'll be 4-1, but they have to take those chances now. But it doesn't matter what you take when Zen powers it to the top corner.
145 kilometers per hour, helped along by Larsa. But the top corner was found. That's very nice. What's that in miles per hour? That must be well quick.
Like, I don't know, 100, 400, something like that. A lot is what I'm saying.
Could have just not guessed.
I could have just not guessed. It reminds me, do you remember Fruity's laser?
90 miles an hour.
Do you remember that? Fruity's laser into the top corner on Neo Tokyo a few seasons back, where he just powered the ball in.
Yeah.
Similar pace.
I don't know why I remember that.
It was like the fastest shot ever at the time. And this is just going to script. Team Vitality 2-0 up, 4-1 in the 2v2. A decent fight from FUFAXDOP. But Vitality are within one game now of taking this series, and we are going back to the 3v3.
The 3v3 is definitely going to be FUFAXDOP's best chance. That's going to be where they will have opportunities to score. Yes, they did not manage to do it this time, but the fact that, you know, they've been able to hold them down to just a 2-0, I believe it wasn't that first game, is a good thing for them. 2v2 was near enough going to be an impossible challenge to be trying to work past. With threes, FUFAXDOP, they've got through to a couple of regionals so far in the RLCS. Interesting to see what they can do.
I mean, yesterday we had the situation when, I think it was when G2 faced version 1, and I believe it was Johnny casting, and he said that G2 basically had to win the 2v2, because if they lost it, even if they won the 3v3 after, it was Daniel in the 1v1, and he was just going to win. We're sort of in a similar situation now, that FUFAXDOP have lost that 2v2. Even if they win this 2v3, and far be it from me to bring the hype levels down if they get a miraculous game win, they then have to face Zen in the 1v1. So it's like, it's not over, but... You know, it's not over, but...
Yeah, it's not over.
You know? But...
Yeah, I get what you mean. At FUFAXDOP, they've got a big mountain to climb. They'll be under no illusion this is going to be a very hard match for them. We had a little look at seeding, sort of estimated seeding, and Johnny largely led that. And we had Vitality at #1 spot for this tournament, and FUFAXDOP sitting at #8. So we're feeling like it's going to be the real David versus Goliath story here. And right now, Goliath is punching David down into the concrete.
And it's not just been Zen, of course. All the talk is going to be about him. But Vitality in their threes game played it very well. They seem in sync with each other, no overcommits. And because often when a new super mechanical player comes in, they get in each other's way. We saw that a little bit with early version 1 in the tournaments prior to this one, as Zen almost combines a filthy pre-jump where everyone wants to be the big man. There's no signs of that just yet from Vitality.
Alpha has changed everything about himself too, and I've been so impressed with the way that he has become more mechanical even in the last couple of months too. He has been supporting Zen wonderfully, and he could not have asked for a better teammate, I think.
You see it there where Zen's in a little bit of trouble and Radosin comes storming back. Radosin, by the way, who was maybe the MVP of Vitality in the most recent split and maybe since the start of this season, so he's not a player that we should be forgetting about as well, even though he has changed his name to Vitality Donkey Kong, helping us to forget him as Zen tries to get the 50-50 towards the goal. Larsa says no. And Radosin now has a chance on the ball. Lovely first touch from him. The second one, a clean 50-50 into the sky. Larsa wins that race, so Alpha's a little bit slow. Is it going to fall for Casa? That's an unfortunate bounce. And Zen's able to challenge Faris.
50 with Zen does go in favor of FUFAXDOP as well. The shot going so high. Larsa, if that's on target, it's much more threatening. Casa challenging burst Radosin. Alpha to tap it over the top, instead helped into the corner by an orange defender. Zen to shoot a out again. The speed from Larsa is really picking up.
FUFAXDOP not just allowing Team Vitality all the touches. Another early read there to get that block. But Radosin's keeping it going. Vitality starting to turn that screw until that long arching clearance from FUFAXDOP. But look how well they transition. Zen's already up. Faris read it this time. Just more danger signs for FUFAXDOP. Have to keep up with the pace. Able to do it. Zen misses, or fake should I say. Goes for the bump in the end though. And it works out perfectly. Radosin scores.
It was the nice fake in the middle from both Zen and Casa. Casa really could have just touched that one, but then in the end, Zen, finding himself in position, allows Radosin to slide on his butt all the way goalward, and the first opening goal for Vitality in Game 3.
So close now for Vitality, just to see this series away. But that's a good kickoff for FUFAXDOP. Casa's there, he's got the mechanics, get it to the backboard, but Larsa's not quite in sync with him. That's been the trouble for FUFAXDOP. You can't blame them. They're being boost-starved all over the place and struggling every time Vitality get control, but it's just that follow-up touch. You know, they've got the mechanics to get it over Vitality. Who's there to help? This could be the moment. No, it's blocked this time by Zen, who gets the second touch. Casa's coming in. Maybe could have got a couple of bumps on his rotation out. But it remains Vitality 1, FUFAXDOP 0.
The midfield getting a lot more love in the middle of this game too. Faris working round the side of one attacking player. Instead it falls back down towards Alpha to challenge with 24 boost though. And the 2v1. Larsa again just punts the ball away. Does not give the chance for his teammates to work up. They don't get that extended play. It's just punt it at the net and hope that it goes in. And realistically, it's not going to.
What they are doing better, though, is not allowing Team Vitality to have these solo plays. In game number 1, Alpha had got himself to the ceiling and fallen down, almost got a ceiling reset, which then put in before the other players even had their boots on. But just when I'm praising them for being quicker, Zen outpaces them again.
It was an awkward touch from Casa. He ends up going low with it, and the landing isn't ideal either. Larsa thinking that clear was going to be a lot further, so moves out of net, leaves it completely open for the poacher of Zen to work in. With minute 44 remaining, Vitality and 2 goals, it becomes harder and harder with every second it ticks down.
Alpha to the ceiling. That's closed down well again by Larsa. It's got to do a little bit more when they have the ball. Those little pockets of time when they actually have some control of it. It's rare against Team Vitality, but those moments have happened. Casa gets over the
top. Open.
Well, Radosin's coming in. I thought he'd get there in time, but I was wrong. It's 2-1.
Casa managing to get a fantastic long shot too. The 50 from Alpha and Faris trying to go for that second block. Zen works in as well. He dived in, didn't need to on that occasion. And a great chance. FUFAXDOP working up with under a minute 30 remaining. The goal difference only 1. And that is extremely manageable, especially with that great kickoff.
Go on, FUFAXDOP. Get yourself a foothold in this series. It's an awkward touch from Radosin. It's set up, but it's just over the top of Casa from Larsa. The idea was lovely. The execution, not quite as much. Alpha can get this one into the center. FUFAXDOP, though, building up ahead of steam, Stumpy.
Definitely building up ahead of steam, and I'm going to try not to remind them that if they win, if they play Zen in a 1v1.
You really know how to bring us all down, don't you, just when we're getting excited?
What? Because we get to see Zen in a 1v1. If FUFAXDOP win this, how's that bringing anyone down?
You're right, sorry. I went fully from the perspective of FUFAXDOP as they continue this attack, but you're right. As a viewer, we want to see Zen in the 1v1.
Yep,
Come on, FUFAXDOP.
If you're a Zen fan, you want him to lose right now.
The irony of crew battles. Faris, can he get that second touch? He does. Lost a little bit slow in rotating, and he's ball side, so slightly awkward there, which is why Zen could beat him. Now, Casa has to beat Zen. He's not able to do it. Faris sends it forward. They need to do more than clear it, though, Stumpy. They need to get at least one more attack.
I feel like Vitality as well have locked down that back end. They're not going to be letting any of these long shots fly in. Vitality, if they just keep challenging, then FUFAXDOP don't have too much that they can work from. The final 10 seconds ticks down. Zen challenging, gets beaten out. Larsa central, that's completely open. And that's the race. Crossbar down. FUFAXDOP, 4 seconds till death, and they survive.
The goal that literally everyone wanted to see, whether they're fans of Zen and Vitality or fans of FUFAXDOP, everybody was desperate for that equalizer. We found it. Now, FUFAXDOP, keep your concentration from this kickoff. You've worked so hard to get yourselves back into this game. You've managed it, and it looks like a long and nervous overtime is happening, unless there could be late drama, but not on this occasion.
The shot very safe at the end. I would love to have seen a top corner pinger in the end, though. Caster challenging Versa. Redosin fakes him out. That goes towards Alpha. Can get the save. The confidence from FUFAXDOP has skyrocketed since that 4-second goal.
Have to build upon it and have to be wary. Vitality are going to keep lobbing grenades in their general direction until something lands. Here's Alpha with one of his own. Doesn't quite go off on that occasion. A bit of a damp explosion. And Carcer cuts out that what could have been a pre-jump. Huge pass towards Vitality. Alpha's coming forward and can't commit yet again. The connection's not quite there for Team Vitality. FUFAXDOP clearing well. Solid defense, making Vitality struggle, making them work for everything that they're getting. As Alpha gets the pinch, and it's just going to go back into that corner. Vitality are clearing the ball long, sure, but there's no one on the other end of it at the moment.
Not right now, but with Verdosin passing towards Alpha, it's going to be a little link up in the orange half, but it falls back down towards Carcer to get this ball central. He does so. That's on target. That's in! Ladies and gentlemen, FUFAXDOP win game number 3, and that means that Zen will be taking to the pitch in a 1v1 versus anyone on FUFAXDOP.
Is it lame to admit that I did a little fist bump when that went in? I gave it a little, come on.
So lame.
And yet you don't blame me.
No, because I did it as well, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Good man, good man. All right, it's 2-1 Team Vitality. We have a series. It's not a sweep. It's going to be the 1v1. That's locked in because we've already had the 2v2 earlier on. It changes to the other game mode that hasn't been played yet. It will be Zen. Not sure who it will be for FUFAXDOP.
Well, let's not assume it's going to be Zen.
Don't do that to me.
It'd be funny if Alpha comes in.
Don't, Stumpy, don't do that to me.
Okay, well, okay, no, you're right, okay. Who do FUFAXDOP put on the chopping block?
The chopping block. Well, okay, so the experienced player is Faris, but he's not a 1v1 player. He's been to the most RLCSs. He made it to Gamers 8 last time around, as I mentioned, with Heat. Well, actually, with Juicers, then was signed by Heat in the interim. But they did have, I think it was Moxie who stepped in as their 1v1 player.
Yeah,
last time around.
Yeah.
Moxie. So it is unlikely to be him. I don't know, mate. I don't know.
They don't. The thing is, they don't really have a ones player. Lassa is apparently 1489 rated, and Carcer is 1412. Whereas I believe that Zen is in the is it not 2000s for ones?
Really?
I don't really know.
I checked earlier. I'm pretty sure it's in the 17s now. He might have, or maybe, I don't know.
Oh, but it's Zen.
Someone in chat. I've got my own chat. Someone tell us what Zen's rating is. I want to know. Anyway,
what's Zen's
Zen, and it's Larsa. Zen versus Larsa. Larsa versus Zen. Come on, Larsa, mate. Give us a match. I would love Larsa to come out and just humble Zen. That would be amazing.
That'd be incredible. What a turnaround this would be for Zen's first actual official tournament as a 1v1 as well. So very exciting. There's crew battles.
So everyone's laughing at you for saying 2K in ones. It is 1700.
Yeah, well, you're all sitting at home and I'm doing this. So who's the real loser?
Well, maybe not Larsa based on this first 35 seconds. He's looking all right against Zen. Oh, beating him for pace as well. Blow the whistle, ref.
Go on. Okay. 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 Okay, fair enough. We've got a real series. I'm absolutely beaming. Larsa going 1-0 ahead of Zen with a nice outplay into that 50 and then just taking that quick snapshot. Zen, I feel like maybe he's thinking, okay, lock it in. We win this one 3-1. But by the looks of things, Larsa, with that early start, may well be getting Zen to come out with his absolute full force.
Yeah, I think Zen ain't going to be having none of this. As soon as he gets control of that ball, Larsa's closing him really quickly. Zen's going to start reading this and anticipating it. For now, it's surprising, and I think Zen's a little bit shocked by just how aggressive Larsa's being. Often in 1v1s, when it's a dare I say, lesser player against a better one, that stops working eventually when the reads come in, and it does not take Zen long.
And the simple plays too from Zen on this. Realizes he can just wait central. He knows that Larsa's going to be trying to get that 50, just jumps, blocks the ball, and can then send it straight towards the net. You don't need to be fancy every single time. Just get the goal. They all count as one.
1-1 though, and I think that FUFAXDOP and Larsa would have taken this in the first minute plus. The kickoff seemed to be going okay for Larsa. That one's gone in Larsa's direction of the goal, but not enough for Zen to be able to do anything with it. The angle wasn't quite there for him. Now Larsa up against Zen, but he's just overcommitted there somewhat, so he's going to have to get back as soon as he can. That might be 2-1, and I think that's where the 1v1 experience really comes out. Touches like that one that just go pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, the lofting nothing touch realizes Larsa that he needs to immediately rush back, but by that point, Zen has already got a target acquired. And now Zen finds himself in the lead. Bear in mind, this is game number 4. Vitality up 2-1 in the series so far. So win this and Vitality go through to the upper bracket finals, or semi-finals rather.
Zen is going to try and get himself some boost. Larsa's going all the way back to defend with all his might. Zen just slows it down and takes control of the ball. Larsa's already up. It's another good decision from Larsa, who is challenging Zen pretty well for the most part. The goal that he got at the start of the game was actually based on an early challenge. But now Zen will come forward, he'll make that 3, and as soon as Larsa overcommits once, Zen punishes.
I feel that's going to be something that Zen's going to be trying to do just to build this early lead too. Get a few chances where Larsa, bear in mind in the threes, he gave the ball away quite frequently as well, seeing that, okay, he's not going to want the ball to be too close to him. He might just send it away a little bit more frequently. He can then receive it and then go for one of those shots to get the counter-attack. And then we can see some real mechanical magnificence. Zen a lovely catch on the goal line, with Larsa stealing that back corner boost, and then the mid boost. Zen's going to be on 12, flicks it high and can then pick up some pennies to continue this attack.
Larsa survives for now. Is he able to slow it down? That's my question about Larsa. He's getting some good challenges, getting some good blocks. But when Zen comes forwards, that's when you just wonder if Larsa's able to really just take the ball under his spell and not get just totally faked out in his own corner. I'm sorry, Zen. Has the ball on a piece of string. Unfortunately, it didn't lead to a goal for the Frenchman, but he'll come forward again. This time it's Zen in the air. Larsa's watching and waiting. What can Zen offer? Larsa's going for it now. It's another good challenge. He's dealing well with the Zen. I mean, it's all solo plays in 1v1, but you know what I mean, the mechanical plays.
Good play now back in the corner with Larsa and the boost advantage. Not by much though, only 30. Zen can then push in, and I think toying a little bit with Larsa, making sure that, okay, seeing that he gives him space, gives him time, and then he goes in for that strike. Wants to try and bide his time and not go for anything too crazy. Zen is going to go for that low 50 once again, but Larsa diving in full straight into Zen's trap. The corner boost stolen. We see this a lot in 1v1s. You go from left to right of the goal, picking up the boosts as you continue, but Larsa, what wonderful shadowing that ends up being.
Good patience as well from Larsa. He got the early challenge when Zen was taking the shot and didn't rush into it when he had a little bit of control of the ball in the center of the pitch. And that's what I was saying earlier. Is Larsa going to be able to deal with those situations where there's some neutral territory on the ball, or when both players can sort of, they stare at each other and think, you going to go for it? You going to go for it? Time Larsa went for it at the perfect moment, and he's actually done pretty well from that kickoff too. Zen's left that one, and then Larsa's gone for the fake, put it into the corner, but it's just gone wide. Another chance maybe, but Zen closes that one down. It remains 3-2.
If he managed to sneak that one top corner, it would have been wonderful, but instead it falls back down towards Zen, who given control of the ball away just for a second, and then again, but with still in that corner boost, he's in a completely open net. Zen can just ping it goalward, does so. 4-2 lead established yet again, that 2-goal lead. But Larsa, he is doing brilliantly.
Yeah, he's going above and beyond expectations. Remember that if Larsa isn't able to get these 2 goals that he needs and win this game, FUFAXDOP will drop the series. They will lose it 3-1, and Vitality will survive in the upper bracket. 2 goals needed. That could be the first, but Larsa's got no boost.
Looping.
Zen can get back, and actually his first touch allows him just to send that one goalwards again. Larsa's back in time.
I like that play from Zen there. Body blocks Larsa away from the boost and then continue. I hope we get to see it in this camera, because Larsa wants that back corner boost. They both fight for it. We have a look at the ball instead, but it was the fact that he just got in front of it, knew that then Larsa couldn't get the boost, can steal it, wrap straight back around. Wonderful play off the ball from Zen to maintain control of that situation.
Again, a reminder to any new 1v1 watchers that 3 goals in a minute is more than doable. Need a little bit of luck from the kickoffs and some good decisions, but it can be done. Maybe not when you're up against Zen, but if he's doing that, actually, he's given away a freebie. Larsa should be able just to send this one away, and now suddenly the lead is cut 22.
We can all ultimately laugh at Dazarin right now for saying that it would be a 20-0. Larsa deserves so much more respect than that.
Yeah. At Dazarin, you meanie.
Dazarin.
Maybe needs even more respect. 2 goals now on the target for Larsa. 50-50 goes Larsa's way. Actually, Zen's able to flick that one over the top of Larsa, so it's worked out well for Zen. And he's taking it back, wasting a bit of time. It's actually my favorite thing in ones. I find it brilliant when they do that.
Yeah, I like it. It's like playing in the corner in football.
Oh.
A great demo from Larsa. Sees it, then wants to slow it down, takes it to his corner, and still manages to take control of the situation. One touch, down with the wave dash, maintains his speed on the wall, including on the corner ramp, which is very tough to do, and brings it back to just that 1-goal game.
Zen is playing almost within himself to an extent, and I think it's because Larsa is making him do that. He surprised him. Zen, if he thought he was going to get this one all his own way, he was very early proven well and truly wrong. Larsa has a chance for a mechanical play, wants to get the challenge in. Larsa's going to get a chance. Is he not quite? Zen takes it away. Is he able to maybe sink it? Yes, he is. An easy flick, and it's 6-4.
How does Zen recover from this on the side to then the double touch onto the floor, picking up a couple of pennies on the way and then flicks it goalward? Wonderful recovery, outstanding movement down the pitch, and 2 goals separating these players time and time again. Larsa, he gave up a couple of early goals, and they've certainly come back to bite him, but a stalled kickoff leaves that net completely open until Zen flings his face right back in the fray.
That's so frustrating for Larsa. The ball just wouldn't fall. He was waiting. He was preying on gravity to speed the ball's descent. Wasn't going to happen. And now Zen can get himself a wonder goal to finish things off. It's just so simple for him when he turns it on.
In the corner with the reset, straight to the backboard with the musty, double touches it down and call it a triple down below the crossbar. Zen is magnificent, and Vitality, they're going to be taking the series 3-1.
That goal there, if that was scored in one of the, the World Show matches for freestyles, if they got that would get a respectable score. And that would be against no opponent, let alone very impressively playing Larsa. Sure, the game was already won at that point, but just to have that in your locker is something scary. And for any new viewers of Vitality and Zen, a reason why this player is so hyped. Vitality win 3-1. They'll move on in the upper bracket.
And GG's to Larsa as well. Wonderful showing from him. I'm very impressed. I'm seeing him go toe-to-toe, realistically, with Zen. Got outplayed on a couple, but also outplayed Zen on a couple. You can't be upset with that performance whatsoever.
Yeah, impressive stuff from FUFAXDOP, and they're going to be facing the loser of G1 Monkeys, which I'm hitting refresh now. I believe Monkeys have won that one. No, actually, there's a potential reverse sweep on offer over on the B stream, so if you're not watching that, you can chuck a little B on the end of your URL, GWBPS_ENB, I think is the URL for the B stream, and you can check out what I presume is now going on Game 5 of G1, potentially reverse sweeping Monkeys. So great Rocket League from EU. It's an entertaining region, isn't it, Stumpy?
We love it. I feel like it's crazy across the board. Then when you chuck in brand new game modes in 2s and 1s, the crew battles format, I think it suits this region wonderfully. But yeah, great stuff there from FUFAXDOP. They're not out, of course. As Cole said, they're going to be going into that lower bracket round 1. I feel like they've got a few more gears they can go to. They just came up against the best team in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, in the 3v3s, Radosin was pretty quiet, which you can't blame him. You basically have one chance at a time to get yourself into the series, so that's probably going to be expected from the third player from any of these teams. But Vitality were pretty comfortable in the 3v3s. My worry for them was they were going to get in each other's way mechanically, and there was no sign of that. They weren't double committing or tackling each other or any of that nonsense.
Well, that is Vitality FUFAXDOP wrapped up, and we've given our thoughts. But I would love to hear what the desk think.
Yeah, Daz.
Very much, Stumpy. Just like that, Vitality move into the upper bracket. And unfortunately, a slower start for FUFAXDOP, but not the game we anticipated, I have to say. The lower bracket should be worried because they had the #1 seed to kick off this competition for them. It was kind of a loss in itself from the get-go, but Dazarin, I feel like they actually put up a good fight.
Sure, yeah, I would say so. You know, they ended up taking that 3v3. That one was really good from them. You know, extended the series for a little while. I'll give them credit where credit is due. They did put up a fight. That's the most I can give them, though. Everything else was just all Vitality all day long. That man Zen was still doing the work. Everybody's all... You heard Stumpy and Cole, they were sitting there at me. Oh my God, Daz, it's not 20-0. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we got the result. We knew Zen was going to show up. We knew he was going to show out and dominate. On the side of FUFAXDOP, though, yeah, you got to give credit to Laz. He made it close. But he's not going to frame that series because he still lost 7-4. At the end of the day, Vitality, even Cole said himself, best team of the tournament, and they still show that in their gameplay. A little bit of a slower start to the day, but there's still a lot more Rocket League to play.
Yeah, highlights for you brought to you by Aramco on your screens. The expectations were definitely on Zen's shoulders, but whole of Vitality actually looked very comfortable. But Zen, in that ones in particular, Corelli, just looked so comfortable. What an incredible display of pace control by him. He looks like an outrageously experienced player, even when the stakes are high.
Yeah, and I feel like he maybe looked a little uncomfortable right in the beginning. I think the pressure from Lhasa came out and really pushed him back a little bit, which is something that we've seen from Zen in a few of his 1v1s where he starts a little slow or gives up some poor goals, and Lhasa certainly did a great job of taking advantage of that. But for Zen, like Daz said, despite him maybe not winning the 20-0 as Daz may have predicted, the consistency prevailed here over FUFAXDOP, and the series went exactly how we expected, Banks. I mean, the 3v3 was the game mode that Vitality dropped. That was the one that I pointed out and said that's probably one that they would lose to if they were going to lose to FUFAXDOP. So FUFAXDOP, I think they got as much as they possibly could out of this series, but unfortunately, you're just going up against a big dog right now.
Yeah, I feel like FUFAXDOP did show some promise, though. Dazarin, does it look like they have the capability to push through that lower bracket and get towards, let's just say, get into day 2?
If I'm being honest, it depends on their bracket. You got to go matchup by matchup. I think this was a good showing for them, and you could tell Vitality wasn't given 100%. And I feel like if other teams aren't given 100% and they're going against this FUFAXDOP team, instead of it being a 3-1, they may take series off of them and sneak by. So I would say, ask me that question later on when we take a look at the bracket.
Well, Corelli, who's your MVP of that match? That's what I want to know.
I'm giving it to Zen. I'm giving it to Zen. Great work in all the game modes. And I think that, coming out hot in that 3v3 in the first game, putting away the first 2 goals, he looked fantastic, clinical in the 2v2. I got to go with Zen.
Well, let's take a look at the updated bracket as we've progressed through our first round of matches here. Well, only our first 2, if you've been watching the B stream. How did that look, Dazarin? Have you got refresh over there? What's the bracket looking like?
So G1 is in the lead by 1 goal. It's a minute left, so give me a minute and we'll see how that updates. But yeah, right now you're seeing it. We could potentially be seeing, oh my God, yep, Monkey's just tied it just now. Listen, lock in on that because it's a close series for sure. We don't know who Vitality is going to play in that semifinals at the moment.
Well, that upper bracket, Team Vitality taking out FUFAXDOP, but there is a second chance in this competition. FUFAXDOP will await whoever loses out of the matches coming up after the break because they're going to be playing someone different. But yeah, they'll wait in that lower bracket. A difficult path all the way through to that grand final. But if you're going up against Vitality in your first match, I mean, it's to be expected, I'm sorry to say. Gamers Without Borders will continue after the break with Oxygen taking on Sir, who could have their hands full with this one. But let's find out after the break.